Welcome to the New Wave channel. We are a group of biology students who are passionate about naturalism and we want to make a change with how we are perceiving marine wildlife. The main activity of Gaëtan is to look after organisms in their environment and capture the moment in photographs to add to his personal collection. Here is Mathilde. With her binoculars, she tried to observe the birds but managed to miss the peregrine falcon. Meet Mirko, our local expert rock climber. He's not scared of risking his life for the sake of science. And finally, myself, Maël, a bird-loving naturalist and active member of the University Association SNARE. We realize that many people often overlook or fail to give a second thought to the less famous marine wildlife. When it comes to the subject of endangered marine species, most of the attention is directed toward well-known species such as whales, dolphins, corals, or sharks. While these species undoubtedly need our attention and conservation efforts, there are many lesser-known marine animals that also require awareness and action. These species may not be as iconic or frequently featured in media, but they play a crucial role in maintaining the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. The more we learn about them, the better we can advocate for their conservation. We chose a location between Saint-Malo and Cancale, more precisely in the Département Natural Area of the dunes de Chevrets et de l'Île Bernard. We chose this place due to its proximity to Rennes and its rocky beaches rich in rock pools. These pools were ideal for our focus on studying the local species that inhabit them. Join us as we explore the fascinating marine life we discovered in these tidal pools and uncover the hidden biodiversity that thrives within them.
A beach may appear to be a vast expanse of sand devoid of life, but if you're observant, you can see life in many forms. Among the seaweed and shells, you can find the remains of animals. For example, this strange white rock is a cuttlebone. Cuttlefish, like other cephalopods, have a soft body, and when they die, only the hard part remains, often washing up on beaches. Here, this type of large black algae is actually a mermaid purse. Mermaid purse is the name given to the eggs of whales and certain sharks. This is the egg of a ray of the genus Raja. Don't worry, this egg is empty, and like many others, has been washed up by the current. There's a huge variety of shells. Here, they are mainly common seaport shells, but on closer inspection, we found more than 7 species, such as the European painted top shells and the flat top shell. These species feed on algae, but we also found species that feed on oysters for the European stingwinkle and mussels for the dog whelk. One of the species is even a scavenger, the netted dog whelk. To follow the surprising diversity of the rock pools, I invite you to watch these rocks as the video progresses. To find more life, we look at the rock pools. The most common species was the linet top shells, which graze on algae everywhere. Here, you can even see the tracks of these voracious grazers. There were also lots of limpets clinging to the rocks, waiting for night and high tide to feed on the algae. But the rock pool fauna is not just made up of mollusks. A particular animal with numerous tentacles was also present. They are the anemones. The most common species was the beadlet anemone, but we also found the strawberry anemone. It's easy to understand its name by looking at its body, which is strongly reminiscent of a fruit. Anemones are carnivores and eat small crustaceans and fish, which they paralyze with their tentacles. Speaking of small crustaceans, there are many in this habitat. This one, found hiding under rocks, is a sea slater. This species eats just about anything it can find, making it an important cleaner of the foreshore. Like all crustaceans, it grows by changing its exoskeleton, a process known as molting. Here you can see the exuvia of an individual. Another important cleaner is the sandhopper, which swims very fast in all directions. Hard to see with its transparent body and even harder to catch, this is the rockpool shrimp. The pigmented cells of its body can be black, blue or yellow and can spread or retract depending on the light to camouflage itself better. One of the largest crustaceans on the foreshore is a common shore crab. This crab is mainly carnivorous Also, it can also eat dead animals. It is eaten by many other animals, including cuttlefish, fish, seabirds, and even humans. It therefore plays an important role in the balance of the foreshore. At low tide, most individuals hide in the mud or under rocks, but it is possible to find many traces of their presence. For example, these are not dead crabs, but their exuviae. The orange part is their gills. If you want to find them alive, try lifting rocks. Juvenile crabs can be very different, with a wide range of colors. We managed to find 4 different colors. In addition to this variation in color, juvenile crabs can be darker or lighter depending on the light. Juveniles were found in the rock pool and in the eelgrass marsh, but we only found adults in the eelgrass marsh. There is less variation in adult crabs, but green or red individuals can be found. Each sex can be either color, but red individuals are generally older than green ones or have not molted for a long time. Behaviorally, males are more aggressive than females and tend to adopt a defensive posture with their claws raised close to the body. To be sure of the sex of the individual, simply turn the crab over. Males have a triangular abdomen, whereas females have a rounded abdomen.
Marine space is not only sand, beach and rocks. You can also see some species by looking in the sky. Seagulls are everywhere. They are probably the most common birds you can see, but not all the seagulls are the same. In our case, we managed to see the European herring gulls and the grey-black bucket gull, which is the biggest gull here. On the rocks, you can find some specialists of the foreshore. The Eurasian oyster catcher, despite their name, they don't only eat oyster, but also marine worms and mollusks. Some birds are specific to the beach and the low tide, like the brent goose that feeds on marine vegetation, or on the ringed plover and little stint that feeds on invertebrates. In the sky, one of their predators, the peregrine falcon. It is the fastest bird in the world.
Next to the shore, we find a sandy place where plants that support big concentration of salt and a lack of water thrives. We find a sea fennel growing on the rocks and the sand, some xerophytic plants that we prospect with a Japanese umbrella. Like this, we find the sandhill snail and the Micrelytra fossularum, an insect that lives in this habitat.
There are many things that put the biodiversity in danger, but the biggest threat is pollution. It can be caused on a massive scale by industrialists and lobbyists who dump their waste directly into the sea, bypassing laws and regulation. Pollution has strong effect on the biosphere, which is transforming the Earth's climate and ecosystem, causing the species to migrate or even extinct if they cannot adapt to their new environment. It can be caused by human action, by gestures that seem insignificant at first, but which, little by little, will have a huge impact on ocean. Throwing away a single cigarette butt can contaminate 500 liters of water. Their impact on the environment is disastrous. Each cigarette butt contains over 4,000 toxic substances that pollute soil and ocean. In France, every year, 24 billion cigarette butts are thrown on the ground, and 40% of which end up in the environment. Another problem is the presence of dogs on or off leash. According to experts, human disturbance is the greatest threat to shorebirds. When the normal behaviors and activities of the bird are altered by something, such as people or dogs, this is a disturbance. Common disturbance to shorebirds include people and their dogs walking through the flock, chasing after the birds, or even just getting close enough to scare off the birds. Among the problems caused by humans, tourism has a very important place. When tourists walk on the beach or along the cliffs, they don't realize the disturbance they are causing. Several protected species are endangered, such as the plover. The problem is that the nesting season from mid-April to mid-June coincide with the resumption of tourist activities, endangering and declining population.
One of the easiest solutions we easily can see on the internet or television programs is to promote and present to the public the biodiversity our planet hosts through a lot of documentaries. An important mechanism in ecology is the lack of awareness vicious cycle. The more you know and interact with nature, the more you will protect it, and so the biodiversity will be safe and increase. But on the other hand, the reverse is also true. The less you feel close to nature, the more it's in danger. So with this short film, we want to share with you our knowledge about the species we can find on the foreshore, and this would be the first step to protect them. The French government and the coastal communities are also taking action to protect the biodiversity, creating protected areas on the seaside. A famous protected area in Brittany is a national nature reserve named Les Sept Îles, where we can find the Rosic Island, known for 3 specific seabirds, almost all of which nest here in France. The French northern gannet nests exclusively on this island and cover the entire place, while a great part of the razorbill and Atlantic puffin also colonized the island. Another way to participate in the protection of the environment is to register your observations on apps like Naturalist or Visiolittoral. This contribution is very useful to collect the data about the fauna and flora of the coastline. Therefore, being informed of what type of species we may encounter helps to understand the ecology of the place, which permits adaptation of the actions and conservation programs.